Once a year.
We are still out of Springfield. We work 1 week a month. Go up, see the
So
grandchildren.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, we're about ready to start.
Okay.
I had not a miracle, sort of a miracle-lect, a small miracle. What happened was I came into the temple and I wanted to get to my office, and there's a door in front of my door, and I tried the door in front of my door and it was locked. And I didn't know if I had the key or not.
Wrong one.
I've been carrying the key for years. It's a very patriotic key. It's my most patriotic key. It's got an eagle, it's got stars and stripes. I put it in and lo and behold, it opened the door. So that was my miracle. I could also use a sitter. Paul, could you get me a sitter, please? I want a blue one with a gray spine.
So let me go get us this.
Thank you, sir.
Will this?
Oh, send-
Yeah, I'll take it.
The sitter's been around for 100 years.
Yes, it has.
There's one with larger print if you like.
Not this week.
Okay.
Good answer.
All right, we'll begin the service on page 13. Speaking of miracles, we're going to get, in my English class, we're going to get to Walt Whitman pretty soon. And he has, my favorite quote from Walt Whitman is, "Who makes much of a miracle? For myself, I know nothing but miracles. Every leaf in the street is a letter dropped from heaven, and so will it continue forever and for all time." It's quite a guy, Walt. All right, we're starting on page 13. First, we'll light the candles. Okay, Mrs. Supporter, would you like to do the honors? Mrs. Supporter.
I left my reading glasses home. This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
Rabbi, please,
Yes, ma'am.
Ilana.
Oh, Ilana, I'm so sorry. Please rise.
Asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lahadlik ner, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Be seated. We have the Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Uboachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai 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 lai. Baruch Uni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai 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 lai. La 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 At the bottom of the page, we have a poem by Chaim Nachman Bialik. He was unique in that he started out writing poetry in Yiddish, and then he decided to write in Hebrew. He was also Orthodox and eventually made Aliyah.
Also notable for being the first Hebrew poet to translate Lord Byron. I don't think Lord Byron and he would have hung out together, but it was a nice honor.
How did that translate? Was it an easy translation, do you think?
Yeah, because Hebrew is so much easier to write poetry in than English. English is very difficult. Yeah, Italian, French, Spanish, all easy, but not English. All right, let's take a look. Well, we could just do it. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come, let us welcome Shabbat, the true queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her God's angels of peace and of rest. Come now, dear queen, with us abide. Come now, Shabbat our bride. Shalom Aleichem, angels of peace. All right, we'll continue now with Yedid Nefesh on page 14. The translation was by Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi. After the Second World War, when most of the American Jewish college kids were going off to assimilate, the Chabad Rebbe decided to send out two secret weapons. The first one was Zalman Schachter Shalomi, and the second one was Shlomo Karlbach. He had Zalman for the intellect and Shlomo for the music. And this is one of the poems that Zalman translated. Soul-made loving God, compassion's gentle source, take my disposition and shape it to your will. Like a darting deer, will I rush to you. Before your glorious presence, humbly will I bow. Let your sweet love delight me with its thrill, because no other dainty will my hunger still. How splendid is your white, illumining the world. My soul is weary, yearning for your love's delight. Please, good God, do heal her, reveal to her your face, the pleasure of your presence, bathed in your grace. She will find strength and healing in your sight. Forever will she serve you, grateful with all her might. Page 15. Lichu niranina, lichu niranina, lichu niranina, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, itzuri shenu, nikad machana b'toda. Naria, naria, itzuri shenu, bismirat naria lo. Lichu niranina, lichu niranina, Lechu niranina l'Adonai. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina l'Adonai. Reading silently.
And the last three lines in the Hebrew, Arba'im shana akut b'dor, va'omar amtoi levavheim, ve'heim lo yadu drachai, asher nishbati v'api, im yevon el nuchati. Okay, page 17. Adonai malach tagel haaretz, yismechu im rabim, hanan varafel sevivav, tzedek umishpat, nechon kiso. Anan is a cloud. There was, for example, in the wilderness, there was a cloud that led the Israelites around so that they could travel in the daytime. And at night there was a pillar of fire that led them. Arafel is somewhat different. It's a very, very thick kind of smoke, a cloudy, smoky smoke cloud. All right. What can I tell you? Let's take, yes, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I noticed Smokey the Bear is no longer the bear. He's just Smokey Bear. That bothers me a lot.
Lost his
I
middle
think I
name.
got behind a truck on Power Line Road that emitted that kind of cloud.
Oh, yeah. That's Florida.
Okay, let's take it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stanzas from the bottom. Shame covers those. I'll do that. Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images, which much themselves bow low before God. Together, hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults and the cities of Judah rejoice. You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked. Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable. Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name. And the last two lines. Or zaru ala tzadik u'liyishrei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, ve'hodu l'zecher kadisho. All right, page 21 is the Lachadodi. This goes back to Tzfat, to Safed, around the 16th century. The Jews had a lot of problems. Nobody liked them. Nobody wanted them in their country. So luckily they were able to go to Israel. And the leader of the Jews there, one of several leaders, I'm sure they had a bunch of leaders, was Shlomo HaLevi. And you can see his name, that not Lachadodi, but the line below it, there's Shamor, which is a shin, followed by the next stanza, Lekrat, Mem, and Hey, that's Shlomo. And if you continue on to the next page, it's Shlomo HaLevi. The story is that after they had a lovely Shabbos dinner, they would go out to the fields and dance and welcome Shabbat. And what were the women doing? The dishes. Isn't that awful? How come they never had a girls' night where the ladies got to go out to the fields and the guys had to clean up? That would have been a good thing.
That's a good place for me to come in on.
Yes.
Very good.
Appropriate.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shemu tiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lekrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila, lecha Dodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Please rise, page 22, the fourth stanza. We face the door through which the Sabbath Queen will enter.
Bohi v'shalom ateret Allah, gam v'simcha u'tzala, tochen unei am segula, bohi chala, lecha jodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
Be seated, page 23. Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat. Reading silently. And the last four lines. Satikata Yithra Ki Eretz Halevanun Yiskeh Shitulin Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun B'Seva Tishenim V'Rananim Yehu Lehagi Ki Ashar Adonai Suri Elo Ablatabo. We can put the Siddurim, the prayer books aside. The Torah portion is Shmini, which means the 8th. It has absolutely nothing to do with Pesach. The Torah just chugs along at its own speed, and the readings do not necessarily apply to the Yontif, which is coming up or just passed. Although during Yontif we do read from the Torah with sections pertaining. We read, for example, the splitting of the Red Sea, and the Az Yashir, that is the Shirat Hayam, the song of the ocean. It's not really an ocean. It's not even the Red Sea. The Red Sea, as we know it on maps today, is not the body of water which the Israelites crossed. That was actually the swampy, marshy area up towards the Nile Delta. And you'll find that if you're going to cross a muddy place, it's better not to be in a chariot. Chariots do not have a climbing gear. Chariots do not have any sort of transmission. Chariots are mostly good for driving into the drink and sinking. Rather, the Israelites who had Birkenstocks, Crocs, things like that. That's much easier to get around in a muddy area. Okay, so at this point, what is going to happen? For the last number of weeks, if you recall, we've been reading about the installation of the Mishkan, that is the dwelling place for God, consisting of the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting, the Mizbeach, the place, the altar where the sacrifices were made, and so on. But finally, they're going to have the coronation, the installation of the Mishkan, the dwelling place for God, the shrine. So, Aaron has 4 sons. Nadav and Avihu, yes, and also Elazar and Itamar. That's 4 of them. And the older pair, Nadav and Avihu, are chosen to officiate on the grand day of welcoming God to settle down on the Mishkan. And something goes wrong. We'll never know exactly what goes wrong. It's possible that they were nervous, so they took a little shot of some alcohol, or it's possible that they messed up the formula, the recipe for the Reach Nichoach, for the frankincense and the incense for the thing. Be that as it may, God has a very low patience quotient, and he strikes them dead. A crack of lightning, a roll of thunder, and the two boys are dead on their faces. And how does Aaron react? He's in shock. He's totally silent. When I wrote an essay about this, I wondered what happened to Mrs. Aaron. And I had her very angry with God, and she takes a vow and goes outside of the encampment to live in the black tent. And Miriam comes and visits her. Miriam is the great comforter for the women. I had fun with that one. Anyway, the two of them die, Nadav and Avihu, and Moses and Aaron have a disagreement about what exactly went wrong, and Moses gives it to Aaron, that Aaron is correct. Next, for some reason, they don't do very well with segues. All of a sudden, they're talking about the kosher laws. What is the requirement for a quadruped, for a four-legged beast, to be considered kosher? And what else? Chew its cud. Yes, yes. That's why, for example, a pig is not kosher. It has a split hoof, but it doesn't chew its cud. Also, a horse, it chews its cud, but it doesn't have a split hoof. It has a single toe. That's why Elsie and Elmer are perfect for our circumstances. We as Americans, Jews or otherwise, we do love our beef, and that's where it comes from, really. Next, what about fowl? F-O-W-L.
No birds of prey.
Sorry?
Can't be a bird of prey.
Right, no birds of prey, no cormorants. I've been following the owls on Owl Cam. Okay, all owls all over the country. Well, I was totally in love with Flacco, let him rest in peace. Do you remember Flacco?
Yeah.
Yes, they found out that Flacco had too many mice which were infected with poison. So, anyway. Okay, but getting back to the domestic fowl. Ducks, chickens, all of these things are okay, as long as they're slaughtered properly. And finally, fish.
Fins and scales.
Yes, but it's fins and scales while they swim in the rivers and the oceans. That's the thing. Because what happens originally is that the great controversy back in the 1950s and 60s about, not shark, about swordfish. There we go, swordfish.
Oh, also.
Because no matter how religious you are, there's a fellow in the next county who's more religious than you. What did the Orthodox say about swordfish?
No.
Not kosher. Because they said these are not scales. These are rudimentary bony protrusions. Well, you know, what can I say? You know, potato, potato. But the conservatives, on the other hand, said that swordfish is kosher because it was a legitimate
They also took sturgeon away
they took sturgeon?
in the
Yeah.
60s.
Yes, my mother used to talk about the fish eggs of a virgin sturgeon. Yes. Okay.
I also heard that eel was originally considered kosher and they took that.
Eels
away.
were considered kosher?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at some point in their life they have fins
Oh.
and scales, and then they lose them when they mature or something like that. I don't remember.
But do they have scales?
That,
They lose
that one I
them
never
now.
heard.
Well, let me
Sturgeon.
Google it.
They had something. Let's just finish up with the tale of the Babirusa. Back in the 70s, some explorer did some research and found that the Babirusa, a pig-like beast in Indonesia, had split hooves and chewed its cud. So all over the world, anxious Babirusa consumers took their fork and their knife, and they were all ready. And they said, we must assign the Babirusa to a scientist who knows his stuff. So they chose Rabbi Dr. Moshe Tendler, let him rest in peace. He was the head of the biology department at Yeshiva. And he examined the Babirusa. He took a year. And then one day, he gave his report. He said, maybe it's kosher, maybe it's not kosher. He said it wasn't kosher. So everybody was sad except for the happy little Babirusa who was released back into the Indonesian jungles, and that took care of that.
So why wasn't it kosher?
Because the rabbi said it. He was a he was a biology PhD. Okay, he gave a very tough course. I never took it. I just heard stories. Okay, so any other questions? Anything? Okay.
It says
All
that
right. Cantor will take over.
Do we have anyone on Zoom, Dina?
Yes, we have 3 on Zoom and 3 on YouTube.
Oh,
One of whom is me, so it's really only 2.
You can do it twice.
So we rise for the Baruch Hu, page 28.
Oh, wait. Let's see, Diego and Ilana, would you open the ark, please? Just the doors. They open and you fold them over. Very good. That's right. Okay, now we bow.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Praised are you, our Creator, whose word brings the evening dusk. With wisdom you open the gates of dawn. With divine understanding you make seasons change. You order the stars in their path through the sky, all according to your will. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, umavdil ben yom u'ben layla. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, umavdil ben yom u'ben layla. Adonai tzevaot shemo, Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim, Ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Amen. Page 29. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amehavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokveinu u'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha. V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu ve'orach yameinu, ve'orach yameinu, u'vahem negeh yomam v'laylam. Ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohel amo Yisrael.
Page 30 is the Shema. We cover the eyes.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Uncover the eyes.
Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Me'olam va'ed.
In the English, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day you shall take to heart, Teach them diligently to your children. Recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Continuing on page 32.
The middle of the page. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכהנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
On page 33, the top left, we have the paragraph which we dedicate to the folks in need of refuah shlema, a quick and speedy recovery. I will read the list and afterwards ask for names from the congregation. Sheila Bergman, refuah shlema. Jeffrey Stern, refuah shlema. Rabbi Sachs, refuah shlema. Joe Albert, refuah shlema. Paul Dobbs, refuah shlema. Marshall Wairobi, refuah shlema. Marty Mentor, refuah shlema. Elisa Pepper, refuah shlema. Vince and Patricia Massey, refuah shlema. Marie Pendergast, refuah shlema. Jim Schuma, refuah shlema. Kevin Catteriz, refuah shlema. Jean Solar, refuah shlema. Joe Huerta, refuah shlema. Sue Reynolds, refuah shlema. Gary Ways, refuah shlema. Any other names?
Judy Cosnitz.
Refuah shlema.
Laura Frank.
Refuah shlema. Okay. What?
No.
Let's read the left-hand paragraph. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisroel, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol ha'olam kulo. Amen.
Page 34, we rise. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי כל יומך ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב במהרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ימי המיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא במהרו אמן.
Yes, 35B to 38, after which you may be seated.
We continue on page 47. ויחולו השמיים והארץ לכל צבאם. ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, קונה שמיים בארץ. מגן אבות מדברו, לחיי מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, מאוד הברכות. אל ההודות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה לעמד ושני עונג, זכר למעשה בראשית. Page 48. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu, Retzei v'mnuchateinu, Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mitovecha, v'samcheinu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu le'ovdecha be'emet, mehanchileinu Adonai Eloheinu, me'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha, ve'yanuchu ba Yisrael, mekadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma dibra kirutei, ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chonu v'yomei chonu v'chayei techo beit Yisrael, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ידברו, אמן. יש ברב וברך, לעולם עולם מהמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה וברכו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בימה ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלות ההון ובאות ההון דכל ישראל קודם אבהון דבשמיא ויאמרו אמן. ישמע ברם אמין שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. We'll rise for Kiddush.
Wine, juice, the real thing.
This is
Wine and juice. Oh, Lord. It's the mitzvah for juice. Leland, I know.
Thank you.
Okay, we join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'rasa b'anu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tefillah lemikra'e kodesh zemer litziat Mitzrayim kibanu b'charta v'yosanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava u'ratzon hinotanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Hashabbat.
Amen.
Remain standing for Aleinu, page 51.
Leland, would you open the options?
Aleinu shabeach ladon hakol, yaseh kedula yaseh breshit, shelo asanu kiboyei haratzot, velo samanu mishpot hadama, shelo sam chelkeinu kohen, v'gor aleinu kekol hamolam. אנחנו קוראים ומשקלים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שנאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני
standing, we'll say Kaddish together. Not only for our own losses, but our brothers and sisters in the state of Israel who made the supreme sacrifice. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shnei Rabbav Amen. Yalmad yivrach v'yurtei v'yamliach malchutei. V'chayeichon v'yameichon v'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalah v'zman kariv yimru Amen. Yehei Shnei Rabbav v'varach v'yolam u'leim maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yita'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudushav v'richu. V'elah min kol birachata v'shirata. Tushbilchata v'nachamata. Ta'amiran b'yalma v'yimru. Amen. V'hei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'brama. V'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal Yisrael. V'yal Shmei Tevel. Amen. Please be seated. A few well-chosen words from our temple president.
Good Shabbos, everyone, and welcome, Elana and Diego. It's lovely to have you here. I hope we have an opportunity after services to show you our beautiful, beautiful synagogue.
Sure.
It's really gorgeous. To think that I'd be in love with a synagogue in my 70s is really quite remarkable. And I am in love with this synagogue and with our temple family. And for those of you who are at home on Zoom, good Shabbos to all of you. I'll make a very brief announcement tonight. You know that we have our Seder coming up. It's rushing toward us. Somehow the weeks just run now and go by so quickly. So we are holding the second Seder here on April 23rd. So if anyone hasn't signed up yet, we're getting full, and we do have a limit. You'll see that the social hall is enormous, but even an enormous social hall has a limit as to how many people it can hold. So please call the office. Joni and I are there on Mondays and Thursdays, and Joni will answer on the other days. We forward the phones to her home. So please do that. This week we're going to keep up all of our activities that we have, our mahjong, our canasta, our women's circle, all of our good things. Rabbi's classes on Wednesday at 4 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. And the subject?
For tomorrow, we're doing Jewish rituals, unusual stuff.
Right. That's going to be, Rabbi has a class after our Saturday services. And tomorrow we're celebrating, we're having a baby naming here. Two of our members have had a first great-granddaughter. Her name is Isla Ray. We're all set up, overflowing in pink in the social hall. Everyone is invited, so please do come. And a sweet, healthy, good Shabbos to each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Okay, we conclude our service with Adon Olam, page 54.
And join us for coffee and cookies.
Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol yitzir nivra Le'ek na'asa b'chefto kol Azai melech shemo nikra Azai melech shemo nikra Ve'acharei kiklot hakol Levado Yimloch Nora, Vehu Haya, Vehu Momen, Vehu Yiyeh B'tifara, Vehu Yiyeh B'tifara, Vehu Echad V'yesh Sheni, Leham Shilo, Lehad B'yirah. בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמזרח, ולא העוז והמזרח, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, יהייתי שם בהעירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא, אדוני לי ולא אירא.
Please rise for the closing benediction. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord turn his face unto you and give you peace. We'll say Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
All right, good job.